Which means we're 90-ish days away from the long national nightmare being over. I'm not sure a Week 2 game is actually revenge for getting destroyed in the Super Bowl, but we're going to go there anyway. Chiefs-Eagles see each other Week 2 in Kansas City. It's the third time a Super Bowl rematch is happening in the first 2 weeks of the season. Now, for the record, it's a split decision, champs versus losers in those other 2 matchups. And as for Monday Night Football, 23 games across 18 weeks. Starting with the Vikings and the Bears. Week 2 is just that, 2 games. The first of 5 doubleheaders on ESPN and ABC. This is a significant moment. We say hello to Peter Schrager. Welcome to the SportsCenter at Night family.
My debut.
I do have a warning for you. We keep really odd hours, so sleep is sort of optional. The schedule has been released. It is out. I want you to read between the dates here. What are the schedule makers trying to tell us without actually telling us?
This is that next level stuff. And the first thing I want to point out, Nicole, is that the league is very high on the Washington Commanders. Now, we expect the Cowboys and the Chiefs to get a lot of primetime games. I don't think anyone expected the Commanders to have 7 different standalone games, including a Thanksgiving day, including a Christmas day, including a Monday night game against Caleb Williams, including a Monday night game against Patrick Mahomes. To me, that W, that logo, a franchise that has been kind of in the dregs of the NFL for many, many years, to be given that perch, that tells me that the league is not only high on the Commanders, but that quarterback, Jayden Daniels.
But they earned it.
He is a superstar, and he's in that caliber of player.
They earned it, and if they continue to play like they did last year, they will be just as fun to watch. All right, obviously behind the scenes, from a team perspective as well as the league perspective, there is a lot of strategy at play. When you look at the Chiefs' schedule in particular, what can I take from that? They play in Brazil, but they also play both Christmas and Thanksgiving Day. What do I?
They're on primetime 5 of the first 8 weeks of the season. It's the first time any team has ever had that in NFL history. They play in Brazil, they play on Christmas, they play on Black Friday. This is no longer about America's team. The Chiefs are now the world's team. They are huge in Europe, they are huge in Germany. And if you're sick of seeing Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and you look at that Chiefs logo and you go, oh, enough already.
Get over it.
Well, not only get over it, buckle up, because it's going to be a lot of Chiefs this year, and they're not going anywhere. The Chiefs have gone from this small market Kansas City team to being a global brand, and the NFL schedule shows that the league office is not afraid to pump that team and show them everywhere.
A lot of Chiefs, a lot of the Commanders. Give me one team right now that's totally in their feels or feeling a certain way after they've seen their schedule.
It's interesting. So I saw that the Minnesota Vikings were given back-to-back games overseas. And I'm like, man, that stinks. The Vikings like that. And then I spoke to Viking sources, and they were like, quite the contrary. That's Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Instead of those games being road games, those are neutral games against 2 top defenses. Furthermore, they're back-to-back in London and in Dublin. So Vikings fans can bookend a trip, go to Europe, flood the place with purple, and then stay for the week, enjoy themselves. These are not road games, these are neutral games, and if their fan base is like, I can get 2 games for the bang of 1 trip, they might really show out, and this actually might be a lot of purple in the stands. The Vikings are happy.
It's like a team bonding experience.
It's fun, right?
Team building. Maybe we should suggest that for the SportsCenter at Night family.
Why
I don't
not?
know. We'll just make something out of it. By the way, the first game of the season, September the 4th. Mark your calendars. The National Nightmare.
Nicely for the New England Patriots to really surprise a lot of naysayers, right? You look at the first ball game, the Raiders. You get the Raiders at home. Remember how they surprised everyone a year ago, first game in Cincy. Most of the masses felt like that would be not an easy win, but a win for Cincy. Guess what? They gave the Bengals a raccoon eye. They blackened that eye. Of course, everything derailed after that. But when you look at this week 1 matchup, that's a winnable game. And then when you look at the changeover with the Miami Dolphins, that's a winnable game, even though they're playing down in Miami. And then, of course, you get my Pittsburgh Steelers, and right now, there's a lot of question marks concerning that team. So if you're the New England Patriots, along with the roster that you have assembled, along with Mike Vrabel, a guy who I believe is a well-respected coach in terms of being able to do more with less. And like I said, this is a talented roster from top to bottom compared to what they did not have a year ago. I love the makeup for the New England Patriots, especially being able to get that first game at home against a winnable team in the Raiders.
We'll see if there's any familiarity there with the man who made his bones as a Patriot, now leading that franchise forward. Rand, I know you're going with familiarity for your winner, taking us back to a building you know well.
Yeah, I'm going with San Francisco. Now, you're coming off of a team that dealt with some injuries, lost some key guys at key points of the season, and had to drudge along, if you will. I didn't want to be disrespectful, but drudge along with certain guys. And now you're getting a healthy roster. You're retooling this defense. And like B-Mac mentioned, you come out of the gate, you're playing one of your biggest rivals in the division in Seattle, and you're on the road. And so now they're going to be equipped to make a run. And now, again, you go back to what John Lynch has done this offseason, and he's retooling that defense. They lost some guys, but then they're trying to get back dominant up front, which is what the San Francisco defense is known for. And then offensively, you get a healthy George Kittle, you get a healthy Brandon Ayuk, and you got that man in the backfield, CMC, and you get all of these weapons back for Brock Purdy. And I think this offense is going to be built to make a long run this season.
I just saw that schedule. It's one that only possesses 3 teams on it that were playoff teams a year ago. 4 games with 3 opponents that were playoff teams a year ago. One of the easiest schedules we saw released here on Wednesday. Let's talk about our biggest loser, because on the flip side of that ease coin is a whole bunch of difficulty. Rand, I'm coming right back out to you. The team that's looking at the thing saying, this is a steep hill to climb.
Yeah, and I'm looking at 2 teams right here. I'm looking at Cleveland, and I'm looking at the Giants. And here's why. These schedules are very, very tough. The NFL season is very tough. We all know that. B-Mac and I, we both know that. However, we're talking about 2 teams here who have a lot of questions at the most key position on the football field, and that's the quarterback position. And these guys are going to be forced to face a gauntlet schedule. So you're looking at these 2 teams that could very well be picking near the top again next year. I hope not for those guys and their sake. But these 2 teams here have been dealt a tough blow to have 2 of the toughest schedules in this season.
And I'm right there with you, especially with the New York Giants. Keep their schedule up real quick for me. The NFL is all about matchups, and most importantly, the quarterback matchup. That tells a lot in terms of which team is set up nicely to potentially win or lose. You look at the first 4 ball games for the Giants, the quarterback matchup is in favor of the opposing team. I mean, that is a gauntlet. And if you happen to be 0-4 by the time you get to New Orleans, that is going to be the most defining moment for their season. Because if you lose to New Orleans, when do you still win?
I'm doing what you just did. I'm trying to find the games where they're going to have the better quarterback. And let be any one of the 3. I find it week 5 against the Saints, and I potentially find it week 16 against the Vikings, because that's just an unknown asset right
and
now.
By that time, with the magic that Kevin O'Connell has been able to do with whoever has been playing quarterback, that matchup might be in favor. The quarterback matchup might be in favor of the Minnesota Vikings. So for a team, like you mentioned, Cleveland and New York, they were bad a year ago. The schedule makers did them no favors at all in assembling their schedule, especially how difficult the start of the season is. So for the fans for Cleveland and New York, you got to have the faith the size of David when he went to slay the giant and Goliath, because this is a tall, daunting task for them to get things rolling.
Xin chào các bạn nha. Ngày hôm nay mình xin hướng dẫn các bạn cắt rán. Đây là con cá vàng. Bây giờ mình xin cho các bạn rán. Một đây. vứt cái này